Hi Cancer, this is your general tarot reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of May. How are you all doing, Cancer, as this card comes out? This is a nice card. Some people say this is even a Cancerian card, so it's right that it should come out. We're going to lay it down there. I hope you know what we do here. If you've seen my videos before, I'm shuffling the cards, waiting on the right ones to come out for you. And I'm going to talk about the energies as a bunch of cards come out. The Fool. The Fool. Cancer's no fool. The Four of Cups, laying it down there, Cancer. The Knight of Wands. Okay, so we've 4 cards to begin with. And we haven't even started to talk about the energies. So, oh, another one. This is interesting. Yep, this card, the 8 of Pentacles. And why this is interesting is because as we leave April and enter May, there's a big Scorpio full moon. And this Scorpio full moon is going to be getting you to look at all your natural abilities, your skills and talents, and putting them to work, fine-tuning them, honing your craft, whatever that may be to you, Cancer, and keeping the head down and removing what doesn't work for you anymore and mastering it. Mastering. For those of you who are creative, this is a wonderful time, as I said, for mastering your creative skills. The 5th house full moon for you is also to do with love. And I know there's a great many of you who really wanted to tidy a bunch of stuff up in your love life. Really, it needed to happen. Doors needed to be closed on certain behaviours and even on certain people. For some of you, that big door, very dramatically, like an old Hollywood movie, was slammed shut. And you said, "Stay out, never come back." So there is that energy of slamming a door and saying to somebody's attitude or to somebody completely, "Stay out and don't ever, ever, ever darken my doorway again." Good for you, Cancer. Good for you. And why do I say good for you? Because, Cancer, there's so much energy going on for you now in May. That's all to do with fulfilling your dreams, wishes and desires for the future. And there's a moment as we go in, leave April and go into May, where you realise that you can't have people who are holding you back and holding you down. As this card came out, the Emperor. You can't have domineering people in your life. You can't have people who seem to know it all when it comes to what you're doing. How do they know what you're doing? But yet they won't shut up. They just keep telling you, well, this is how you should be doing it. No, I actually do know what I'm doing, thank you very much. And the Emperor here says, yes, you got a bit of fight in you to tell the people who are blocking your path, maybe even if it's just with little minor criticisms that just eventually drive you nuts. You're going to roar at them, baby. And good for you. Because here, you know, there's a moment with the energies in May, Cancer, where people will have to be told who you are. People will have to see you for who you are. Because very often, Cancer, people, they mistake your compassion and your kindness for weakness, as the 10 of Swords come out. They mistake your innocence for gullibility. And they mistake your passiveness for being a pushover. Well, in May, what's going to happen is that you uncloak yourself, reveal the fiery dragon beneath, and breathe fire over them, so that they're just left standing with their mouth open in a scorched earth, blackened place where all the fire burnt everything around it. And they'll be and you'll look at them and say, that silence, you see that silence there? That's the best thing you've said in years, darling. As the Queen of Swords comes out, who absolutely is that energy. Because, excuse me, what a lot of people don't understand too with you, Cancer, is you do take a lot from other people. You take a lot, and you don't express always how you feel in the moment about what's just happened. You hold it in, and then you get hurt. The 5 of Wands just coming out there, and then you get hurt. And you communicate the best way that you can with them. And when they still don't understand you, when they're still not listening to you, then you speak the true Cancerian language. And that is the language of tears. And they speak so loudly. It's the language of the truth from your heart. But the problem is, Cancer, is that not everybody understands the mother tongue of the soul. They cannot understand it. So your tears often get lost in translation. And that's why it's important now, when your dreams, wishes and desires for the future start showing tangible results in May, that you'll be able to look at these people and say, this is who I am. This is what I do. And if you can't understand me from a deeper place, from a more empathic place, from a gentler place, then you have 2 choices. Either learn the language of the soul, or learn where the nearest exits are. 2 in front, 2 to the side, and 2 to the rear. Take your pick, you know, because otherwise it's going to be a crash landing and I'll be the one driving the plane, you know. But while you are driving that plane, Cancer, you're going to be driving it way up, piloting it up into the clouds, soaring up, way up there with your dreams and visions. We could say that you'll be driving yourself miles up in the sky. So yeah, you'll be doing the Mile High Club. You will be part of the Mile High Club, because that's where dreams and desires and wishes for the future are. They're miles high above all the ordinary crap that you've had to endure for so long. And you can look down from the cockpit while you're up there and say, oh God, these people all look so small from where I'm standing or where I'm sitting here. Nah, pity about that. Ding dong, minibar to the cockpit, please. The Lover's card came out there, and then that was followed by the 9 of Wands, waiting on 2 more cards. So where is all this energy coming from to get you flying high, up and away in the clouds in the Mile High Club? Well, it's coming from the 11th house, the house of dreams, visions, your imagination, looking up to your future. And we enter May with the sun in there. So you're actively looking now at building a wonderful future for yourself. And I think it's your skills and talents, as Temperance comes out. 1 more card, Cancer. I think it's something that you have as a natural skill. Last card, 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, 3rd time lucky. It's something that you have as a natural skill, Cancer, that you can perfect and hone under the Scorpio full moon and reshape it so that it can be packaged and brought out to lead the way into your future. And the 11th house is through groups of people, social media, societies, teams, networks, anything you're plugged into. So you have a talent that you can bring to other people, to a larger group of people, and you can be celebrated for it. Now, I know there's also energy there for you to talk deeply about deep issues to other people, to larger groups of people. Issues that are like of higher education, real 9th house stuff. Issues to do with religion, maybe politics. Certainly, even if it's community politics, some of you will definitely be getting engaged with that. And you'll find you have a natural talent for diving into all of these deeper subjects, the bigger picture. And you're bringing this bigger picture into the future with your talents and with a sense of success. Because with the 5th house there, Jupiter retrograding in the 5th house, it's like you're going back to reclaim your success. And that is what's going to silence all these people who are, you're doing that wrong, you don't know what you're doing, maybe you should do it this way, maybe you should do it that way, and you're like, can you leave me alone? Eject, eject, eject. And that's it. This is what's going to finally shut them up when you have this energy there. Mercury on the 13th of May, the communicator, the one who's able to explain everything perfectly, is in this 11th house of your dreams, desires, wishes for the future. The future. You know the way, you know the route. Mercury is the navigator. He's the one that says around the 13th of May, I've got the map, I've got the compass, baby, this is our direction. This is where we need to be going. I know the road. Follow me. And you'll willingly go, of course. There's a new moon on May 15th. So this is a door opening into your dreams, desires, wishes for the future. It's like this big fresh moment where you just see, I can step out of what's old, tired, boring and normal, and I can step in to a cleverer place, a place where I can use my bit of spark of genius. A place where I can be recognized, a place where, for some of you, you could even make this a road to fame, wealth, big money. And you're a hard worker, Cancer, so with all that energy plus you and your natural ability to work hard, I mean, the skies, literally, aren't even the limit. You're beyond the skies now. You're far, way out into the 11th house. You know, it's the second last stop. You're almost at the terminus. It's as far as you can go. And that's what you want to do, Cancer. You want now in May to go as far as you can possibly go. And then the big one on May 15th, Uranus, the big unpredictable rebel with a cause, is going to come in like a bolt of lightning. He's putting the key in your ignition and turning it over and igniting you, kickstarting you, pushing you. He is the cannon. You're putting on your helmet, crawling into the cannon in the circus, and he's the one that lights the fire, and you're gone, waving to the crowd as you fly high in the sky. So that's huge, huge, huge. And you know, this Uranus going into your 11th house, it happens mid-May. But it's for a 7-year period. So you'll begin to see it in May, and then it will slowly graduate. It will slowly develop over a 7-year period. 7 years, baby, to build your dreams, hopes, desires for your future. Now, tell me that's not good. Now, some of you, before I look down at the cards again, it's just so much to talk about. Some of you could find, now this is a weird thing, that those of you who are looking for love, you could find that you find a lover who is from a different culture to you, a different country to you, speaks a different language to you. That a new romance could happen with somebody that you would kind of say is not on your side of the fence. They're foreign, even if it's just their religion is different, their faith, their beliefs, their ideologies. Something about them fascinates you. So that's not too bad. Anyway, Cancer, let's get moving and look down at the cards. So before I do, anyone who's on my Facebook page will remember that I held a poll or a survey there and asked all of the people on my She-Bear page if they want to change things up a little bit. So everybody said, yeah, they want to keep the camera up here, not move it down. And so I've made a bit of a compromise, which means that right now, you should up here somewhere be seeing an overview of the spread. So it kind of, for those of you who want to see the cards, you can see them up here. And I'll stay looking at you. What a nice place to be, looking at Cancer, who's now on the road to success and fame. So let's begin, Cancer. This is you communicating your deepest truths, your deepest desires and your deepest wishes when it comes to the things of the heart. This is heart-based communication. So as we go into May, you have this resurgence of sharing your ideas, sharing your heart's desires, sharing your feelings more, and celebrating here. Now, May is the month of the birthdays for Taurus and Gemini. Some of you could be celebrating with Taurus or Gemini, or some other big event where you all raise your glasses and say cheers. Maybe it's just you, Cancer, celebrating something, celebrating that first moment where you see the door of your bright future opening, and you get that little moment of, I can feel this, I can feel it, I can feel it, pop open the champagne. Yeah, you can feel it. And in matters of love, just to flip this up a little bit, because I know some of you have closed a chapter on your love life, not for everyone, just some. There is a moment at the start of May where you might discover something about that relationship, that it's like an extra truth. You were finished with them, you had enough. You may not have actually separated, you may not have actually ended something, but a door in your heart seems to have closed. It's just all the other details now have to follow up. And what you might have discovered is that the other person was in your way, or they invited something into your life that got in the way of love. It could have been their bad attitude. It could have been their temper tantrums. It could have been their family, or even, hopefully not, but it could have been another lover. And if they brought something into your love area that you didn't invite, then that's a real good reason for you to justify closing your heart on this situation, because beside it is the Fool. Some of you Cancerians, on the negative side, some of you are feeling a little bit like a fool. You feel that you got trapped within a relationship that you probably don't quite know how to get out of. That, like I said, the door in your heart has closed, but you're still there. And you feel a little bit like a fool, that you're so empathic, you're so in tune, and you're saying, how did I not notice that this person was like this? Was it because I was just too swept away in the moment, that I didn't see that they were not that great? I forgave them, I overlooked their personality problems because I was in love. But now it can't be hidden anymore. Can't be hidden anymore. And I feel a bit like a fool for allowing it to go on for so long. Now the trick here, Cancer, is not to feel like a fool, but to feel like the Fool. And what is the Fool? The Fool is free. The Fool is free to set off on a new journey without any baggage, with the sun on his back because he's divinely protected. He's taken a leap of faith. There's something in your love life and in your life in general where you're just taking that leap of faith, Cancer. And you're saying, wherever the chips may fall, whatever happens, I have to, in my heart, I have to take this leap forward. I have to go with it. And if it means hurting some people, I have to just trust that this is what has to happen. But certainly, there are some of you who just cannot and will not tolerate feeling like a fool anymore, and you want to liberate yourself from that. You want to free yourself, because he is free, and he's happy once he's free. Once he completely extricates himself from the situation, he is like, look at him. I mean, he's going, God, this is a feeling that I haven't felt in a long time. This makes me happy. I'm feeling free. And that's the energies of the month too, Cancer. Feeling free, feeling that the wind is at your back and you're being pushed along and divinely guided. You feel free. You like it. And here's a card here saying that there is a moment at the start of May where you'll be looking at the love life again. Didn't I say that some of you are dissatisfied with what your lover is bringing in or has brought into the relationship? It made you feel a bit foolish, made you feel a little bit gullible. And here you are sitting at the start of May saying, how did I get myself into this? I'm not satisfied with how things are progressing in my love life. I don't like it. And I don't know yet how to fix it. I don't quite know what my path is yet to move on, move away, move ahead. So you're pondering, you're thinking. But do remember that while you're looking back saying there's got to be greener grass on the other side of my life, the universe is coming out with this cup and saying, you know, I've got extra love here for you. If you take a chance, if you risk it, if you dive in to what your heart is trying to tell you, what your heart is motivating you to do, then that's where the real love is. That's where it is. It's not anywhere else. It's not in a complicated relationship. It's not in a relationship where somebody invites drama and heaviness, or God forbid, somebody else into the relationship. That's not where love is. Love is where your heart is telling you. And once you listen to where your heart is trying to bring you, you'll move swiftly, boldly, with courage into the next part of your life. I mean, this night, this isn't a calm, cool person. This guy's on fire. Even the horse, the gates opened and he's just gone. And that's a bit like the energy for you at the start of May, Cancer. You have this feeling that as soon as you get some little inner signal, as soon as you get some clean sign, you're gone. You're out of here. You're out of here. And you're going out in a big firestorm too. There won't be a kind of sneaking out by the back door kind of going. There'll be a big throw the table up and throw it all and I'm out of here. This is finished. I'm going to my future. And I'm going alone without you. And it's a wonderful energy too, because here you have the card of working diligently, focusing very deeply. He's taken this raw material, the new gold in his heart and his soul, the new things that he can feel around him. And these are his skills and talents, and he's shaping them. He wants to master something. That's you, Cancer. There's something that you can naturally do that you want to master, and you want to share it with a larger group of people. And through that, you'll meet so many like-minded people who it's almost like you start to share something with them in an effort to enlighten them or to bring them new meaning in their life. But yet it's the people who give you meaning to your life too. And you know it. So you're perfecting your craft to present something very meaningful out to the world. And it's ignited by Mars too. Now, it's true, after Uranus initially goes in to your 11th house of your dreams and desires, Mars, this guy, squares off with him. Excuse me. And he's in the 8th house, in 8, deep focus, wanting to get things absolutely perfect, investing in your life in the long term, seeing the long range vision, getting your finances together, getting your taxes together, getting all sorts of paperwork, bookkeeping, banking together, so that whatever project you're doing, you're going to be able to do it with a very clear sense of organization, particularly financially. And Mars in the 8th house of investment and long-term money with your partner too, for those in a relationship, your spouse's money, that there's something in that where Mars is going to ignite your interest in seeing a long-term financial plan, tied in with your long-term creative plans and your visions for the future. And for some of you, this is an Aries card. You've 2 fiery cards here. For some of you, there could be, I say this sometimes to you because you very often seem to get Mars. There's a Martian-style person, traditionally we'd say an Aries, but somebody who is very ignited, on fire. They're a motivator. they're going to be really pushing you on as you do this, because that's the energy you want now, Cancer. You don't want that thing we said of somebody saying, are you sure you're doing that right? I don't know if you, no, that's not very good. You want somebody now to be saying, come on, just trust your beliefs, trust your heart, trust your talents, and go for it. So that's the energy mid-May. Mars will be shouting at you to trust, go for it. Now, it's interesting because in two ways, this fiery character, you're turning your back on them. So for some of you, yes, there could be a very fiery character in your life that you're just ready to turn your back on and leave. And possibly you should, because fire can be highly motivating, but fire can also be quite aggressive and demotivating, disempowering. And if it's that second, if it's the latter, you need to turn your back on somebody who's demotivating you. And you need to get very clear about it, because you're a heart-based soul, Cancer, but she is anything but heart-based right here. She is the one who sits and says, no emotions, nothing, just, I'm going to cut you right out of my life. You're gone. You're gone. And they'll say, oh, but please, why? And they'll expect the tears. They'll expect the sadness, but they won't get it, Cancer, because you've cried enough. You've cried enough. And when, like I said, when you spoke the language of your heart, which were the tears, they didn't understand. So if they didn't understand when you were genuinely speaking that soul language, they're not going to understand now. The only language they'll understand is you withdrawing that beautiful softness and speaking to them in a way that they will understand, which is cold, which is hard, which is rational, and which is ice. Which is ice, because you're a water sign, but when water freezes over, and it's treacherous ice too, treacherous. So that's the energy. And it's beside this card. It's you being the ice king, the ice queen, the iced warrior, standing beside those who wish to compete against you also. For some of you, you might find that there's a lover who kind of argues with you, nitpicks with you, criticizes you, always focuses on all the wrong things and then demotivates you. But for some of you, there is actual competition. It might be quite healthy competition. They could be spurring you on to improve yourself, to better yourself, to up your game a bit. So that's healthy. But because she's sitting beside it, something tells me that there's unhealthy competition. Perhaps the things you're doing, somebody is trying to compete with you in some way that you just don't see it as a very healthy type of competition. And you want to just cut that shit out. Cut it right out. And so you should. So you should. Speak, speak, speak. Cut it out. But the thing here with her, that you are somebody who speaks the language of the heart, and that's quite subtle. And this card is not subtle. So if somebody is competing against you and perhaps trying to, there's some way it's not fair what they're doing. They're trying to push ahead of you. They're trying to stand on you to get ahead. And this is the moment where you don't take it in and kind of get all sad about it and kind of cry about it. This is the moment where you very clearly, without any emotion, without any hurt, pain or anything, just nip it in the bud and say, enough, enough. I don't mind competition, but I do mind you treading on my toes. Now, the Lover's card. I love this, certainly. As we start April, May, love has ended, as I said, for some of you. Some of you, and I always say this, I know there are a great many of you in very committed relationships. You do like to be in relationships, Cancer. And I'm not saying that they're ending, but some chapter in your relationship has ended. A way of communicating must end. Something has ended as we go all the way through May, and something new will begin, a new love, a new way of expressing love. Lovers is represented by Gemini, and the sun is going into Gemini on May 21st, into the house of deep secrets and letting things go, surrendering things. So for those of you in a committed relationship, you're going to have to, the two of you, commit to letting go of some very bad behavior. Really talk it out. Gemini, Mercury, talking things out, talking things through. The sun in Gemini, healing, bringing success when you embody this energy. So success comes when you talk things through and make an absolute commitment to letting the bad behavior get lost, to surrender it, to leave it in the past, you know, and let it stay in the past. I mean, as you're moving forward into your future, all the things of the past, you know, there's no point in ever looking back on them, because that's not the direction you're going now. You're going to the future, and make that clear to your love too, that you're going into the future and you don't want to drag any of the crap with you. For those of you looking for love, certainly around the 19th, when Venus goes into Cancer. I almost forgot. Venus is going into your sign on the 19th, making you an absolute love magnet. I'll say it again, making you an absolute love magnet. And then the Lovers, the sun going into Gemini then. Yeah, if you want new love, if you really believe in your heart and soul that you want new love now in your life, Cancer, from the 19th onwards of May, it's a great time. It's a great time, and I think it's highly possible. Excuse me. The Nine of Wands. This is you. Did we get this before, Cancer? I think we did. This is you looking around at all the things you've created in your life so far, and having a moment where you step back and realize that you've hemmed yourself in a little bit. That the things you've been trying to create as a security system around yourself, as a home around yourself, as a life around yourself, have kind of now come to hem you in a little bit. You thought you wanted a certain lover in your life. You thought you wanted a certain life setup. You thought you wanted to live in a certain place. You thought you wanted this job, this money, this thing. And towards the end of the month, you're saying, oh God, some of the worst things that can happen is that all your dreams come true, that you get what you ask for, because now I'm trapped by it. But this is a fire card. These are wands. This is a moment where you realize that even though you're trapped, you have the fire, passion and energy to figure out how to get out of it and how to do it well so that you can go on into your future. The last two cards are interesting, Cancer, because they're both cards of balance, of striking the right balance, finding the sweet spot in everything in your world. And I suspect that that's what would be coming from your heart, from your creativity, from looking to your future in a brand new way, with a brand new direction. It will give you this better sense of balance. For some of you in relationships, have they been a bit one-sided? Have you been doing all the work? Have you been the one to keep the peace? Have you been the one to initiate? Have you been the one to smile through their crappy behavior? Have you been the one holding the fort, perhaps financially? You know, have you been, it's just all these questions. Have you been doing something that makes your life or your relationships or your working life seem a bit unbalanced? Well, Temperance, the Sagittarius card, and Sagittarius are very free-spirited, and you do have that love with a foreign person that could happen. Maybe it's a foreign person that could show you how to bring balance back to your life. That they can enjoy time with you, where you enjoy having a glass of wine over dinner with them, which is a hell of a lot better than opening a bottle of wine and crying in front of the TV at night. on your own. So balance, temperance, that's coming. It's also a truth card. You have two cards at the beginning and the end of the month where truths are revealed. And you know what happens when truths are revealed? They're never really supposed to be revealed to us to point at other people and say, ha ha ha, I know the truth now, and throw it at them. When the universe gives you a truth, Cancer, the idea is to show you what you didn't see. It's to propel you and kickstart you into the next chapter of your life. It's a bunch of energy that acts like a springboard for you. And once that energy comes, the mistakes we often make is using that original fire and energy that comes with some unusual truths to turn on the other person and attack them and say, why did you do this to me? When in fact that fire, the flame, the energy, the dragon's breath that we were saying, sure, you can have an initial breathe fire on them and let them stand with their mouth open in silence. But really the fire and the energy that a truth is supposed to bring you is meant to propel you. You're not meant to give it back to the one who hurt you in some way. I mean, let them suffer in silence, powerless, like they tried to make you, powerless. The last card again, balance. If you look here, you'll see emotional waves. This is the first moment at the very end of May where he is stepping away from his life is too up and down, too unpredictable. And he hasn't yet developed his sea legs. You see, it's only a 2. He knows that he has somewhere to go in his life. So he has a new purpose and a new journey, but he hasn't quite got his sea legs yet. So he's been up and down and he's got a bit seasick. And he said, oh no, I need to come back to dry land for a moment to balance myself again. So this is sometimes the card of stops and starts to find balance. You try a little bit with your creative talents, you travel a little bit, you step out into new love a little bit, you do some blah, 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 a little bit, then you step back. You come out of your shell, Cancer, and then you step back. It's in, out, until you get used to your new terrain. And that's perfectly acceptable. It makes sense. It would make no sense if I asked you to do something that was contrary to your energy. And your energy does that. You go in a little, step out a little, test. You're on a test drive with your new life, and you're going to find that beautiful, sweet balance as the month ends. Cancer, I really enjoyed that reading because I'm feeling this fabulous energy where it's like fresh air in your heart. What I'm feeling is like a door in the heart has opened and somebody has just let this beautiful fresh air through. Fresh air that can lift that aircraft that you're now driving with Mercury as your co-pilot and the navigator. You're going way up into the clouds, up into your future, as far as you want to go. With, let's not forget, a minibar. So enjoy that ride, enjoy it, enjoy the Mile High Club, my love. And I wish you all the best. And if this is the first time seeing my videos, then please subscribe and come to my Facebook page, She Bear Tarot. I have Twitter and Instagram too. And I'm going to leave you, as always, with a gorgeous big kiss from my beautiful, beautiful Cancerians. And I love you so much, and see you next month.